Hello everyone, welcome. Let's wait for everyone to join. Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's been a long time. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, my beauties. Hello, hello. How's everyone? How is your day going so far? How have you been? It's been a long time. Hello, Mariama. Or Maria. Maria Masana. Maria. Hello. Hello, hello, everyone. Let's wait for more people to join. Just rising. Hello everyone. Just finished a session with a client. Someone is from California. Hello, Cali. It's been a long time. How have you been? Thank you for the compliment. Let's welcome all of your goddesses. Let's welcome all of your ancestors. I want you to connect to your heart. Remember that the heart is meant for two jobs only. Giving love and receiving love. So, no judgment. I think today is going to be a soft session. It's really our way back. My first live in a lot of months. I've been busy. Thank you so much. I want to thank my clients and my customers for trusting in Goddess spirituality, in the connection to your sacred feminine, the connection to the cosmic mother, the connection to the womb through our ancestors. And really, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. If you're a woman who came from a womb, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to welcome you, your mothers, your foremothers, your women ancestry. So basically, today's video is kind of going to mimic the way I do my sessions with my clients. And I want to thank my clients once again. Thank you so much for paying me, for trusting me, and for allowing me to be the messenger of awakening for you. It's very important. One thing I need to say, one thing I really need to say, it's really not a message that I love to say, but you need to come here with an open heart. Again, I want to come back to the heart. The job of the heart is to emit love and receive love through the breathing. Unfortunately, because of the nature of this media, I will not do any moaning here, even though my sessions with my clients highly include moaning. I'm a womb healer, and we moan to manifest. So this session is going to address one thing that is kind of recurrent this season. I just started back, and it is this notion of feeling worthless. So it's going to be the theme of this week. Today, I'm going to address feeling worthless. What does it mean for a feminine? I talk to women. My job is to women only. I'm a womb awakener, womb healer. So men have no job here. That's one thing. If you're a man, go to a man healer, spiritualist, expansionist, occultist, mystic. So this feeling, and it's really about feeling, the feeling of feeling like you have no value, feeling like, again, you feel worthless, you feel unimportant, as linked to your mission, linked to the fact that you have acknowledged that spiritual awakening is part of your journey, that you're going to go through this life, that this life is not just 3D flesh, but it has that component of the invisible. And the fact that as women, we are born with the natural capacity to do magic. We are natural alchemists. That is why our womb was created. That is why we can only go about life through sacred sensuality and sacred sexuality. Basically, everything and anything you're going to manifest, for lack of a better word, is going to be through the connection to your own womb, where our altar is located. If you're new, I hope you enjoy the information. If you're not new, I hope you don't find this information redundant. That's what I do. And the job you have to do every day, that is why I talk about the importance of daily goddess alignment rituals, is the fact that it is something that you have to do daily. So any client of mine who books me for a package, so meaning that this is your first time using my potion, or you have not had any kind of session with me, you book my full package, because you can't use my potions unless your body temple, your altar, is already purity in the spiritual sense. And that is why I do this session. I'm a holistic expansionist. My job is not to focus on shadow work, because the shadow is part of the mirror. It's part of the projection. There will always be shadow. Shadow provides the contrast. And some people tend to only remain in the shadow, constantly looking for healing and healing and healing, and becoming a victim of that, and never actually taking responsibility of their life. Me as an expansionist, I'm about allowing your physical flesh to be able to hold enough energy so that you can receive more of the gifts. Some clients of mine, when they show up, their, I will call it auric field, for lack of better words, is even smaller than their physical body. They are so full of trauma, generational curses, programming from the matrix, childhood issues, the media they consume on a daily basis, the lies they consume on a daily basis. But basically, They show up and they have shrunken, is that a word in English? Shrunken themselves to the point of feeling disconnected from their divinity. So as you know, your temple is within you, and your job is to anoint yourself every day to remain in that vortex of purity. Okay? So, usually what we would do, and this is the first session back, so maybe you didn't come prepared. If you know my work, you came prepared. 2 things that I do before starting a session. The first thing I always do is to ask, especially for clients of mine who have no clue. Most of my clients are not spirituals. They just come because they feel called, or they have a symptom and they want a result, basically. And if you're a man, please leave here. You don't have a job here. This is for women only, because I've seen a couple of men popping in. If you're a man, bye. This is not a video for you. So we start by honoring our ancestors, calling upon our ancestors, asking our ancestors for protection, to keep us hidden from any sort of judgmental, low astral, whatever eyes that may want to use this type of venue, because as you know, energy vampires are everywhere. The moment you open yourself energetically, they come in. So it is your job, as per your free will, to seal your space, your physical space, your room, wherever you are. So we call our ancestry. What you do, what I do even with my clients in our sessions, is that we start by doing an offering. In ancestral spirituality, and I've seen this in every type of ancestral spirituality, here we're not about monotheistic religions, colonial imported religions, or Roman Catholic linked religions, any type of monotheistic patriarchal religions. This is not the space. Here we connect to the cosmic mother, we connect to our ancestry, and it is through the women. But when we call upon our ancestors, you have to know that your ancestors are the first layer of your divinity. If you're part of my spiritual membership, you know this information already. So we have the source, creation, whatever you call this God that you create, which is far away from us, which has given divine power to different layers. There's a hierarchy of divine entities, the closest ones being our goddess, and here on earth it is us. We are God, we are goddess, we embody the godly essence, the divine essence. So in ancestral spirituality, it is through doing libations, offerings, and again, once again, I'm not going to repeat myself. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you have to honor your ancestors. So I'm using rum, very simple, just very simple rum. What you will do is do this as an offering, depending on what culture, tradition you are. You're going to either light a candle, plain white cheap candle, or you're going to burn whatever plant or incense which is linked to your tradition. Okay? Me, it's going to be resin from a tree. For some people, it's going to be sage, especially if you come from a tradition of Native American or Aborigine. You're going to use sage or different types of plants. Depending also on which ancestors are going to show up, you may also use things like tobacco, which is widely used. Different types of incense. If you're in India, you can use ghee also and burn it. And basically you open that portal. What it's doing, the flame, we're using all of the elements to create a portal through which these divinities, our ancestors, are showing up to us. As you may or may not know, the 3D is a dense, unpure, dual, very heavy in energy type of space. Most of the entities you may have called in the past angels do not come on earth. It is a dirty place. That's why we strive to retain our sacredness, so that, and using the potions, anointing ourselves, just like you would see in any type of temple or whatever, sacred temple, you would see them anointing the space. It brings down heaven on earth. It's a very plain way of saying it. So then you're doing your offering. In some tradition, and this is basically what we explore when I do the sessions with you. For some ancestors, it's going to be pouring it on the ground. For some ancestors, it's going to be drinking a little bit of it and using your ashe to spit it out, to bring spirit through you. In some traditions, you're going to just put it on your ancestor's altar or table we would have reserved for the specific session. That is my job. When you show up to me as a client before using the session, my responsibility is to connect with your ancestry, to know what is their media, how they connect to you, who shows up. Is it third generation up, fourth generation up, the highest generation, the most powerful, or sometimes it's just the emissary or the messenger? It is my job to do that. That is why you come to me. I'm a potion maker, so I'm going to keep speaking about potions, because if you come to me, you want to buy potions. That's how ultimately we manifest, through the womb, the moaning that we do, and the using the potion to remain in that vortex of, I'm already embodying the goddess, so I'm only going to attract within that space goddess 3D equivalents. So the reason why I'm saying this is that when you purchase a potion, just a regular potion from me, you go from the cheapest option. You just get a potion. I'm assuming that you know the protocol, or you have your own protocol. So you do what you do. If it's your first time, you get a potion package. So I include in the box everything that you're going to need to prepare to be the host of a holy, sacred elixir that my potions are. If you're unpure, for whatever reason, if you still have these cords, these attachments, and if your ego still shows up with all of the fears, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the excuses for victimhood, if you're still trapped in the 3D, my potions will reject you. Basically, the divine entity is attached to the potion, attached to you, because when you order a potion from me, in the package, it's your DNA. So your own goddess steps aside until she's ready to come inside you. That is what we call goddess. That's what I call goddess awakening, because you have that seed, but if you're not ready, she's not connecting, she's not activating her job through you. So, ancestors, if any of you here has done already your goddess awakening, you know the name of your goddess, or some of us have many, or not many, but more than one entity, goddess spirit, then I'm inviting you now to close your eyes, connect to your heart, and call her. I don't need to say anything, she's already here. For those of you who have not awakened her, she's there already. Maybe this would be an opportunity for you to close your eyes and to have a glimpse of her. Maybe she'll let you see a little bit of her. Maybe, you breathe in and wait for whatever shows up. Don't expect, don't look for it, but just breathe in peace. Again, we're coming back to the heart. I receive love, I give love. So let me do it just for 30 seconds. Let's call your goddess. Let's call your goddess spirit to show herself today. Bring this to your heart. And you should already start to feel the warmth. There should be a warmth. For some of you, your goddess is singing. You may hear. Breathe. So let's start connecting our heart to our womb, both of our feminine centers. So you inhale through the heart, start filling up the womb, and then you exhale, you lift your jaw slightly, open your mouth and exhale, creating a little sound in the back of your throat. So inhale and exhale. Let's do it a couple more times. 3 times is good. It's not enough, but this is a live video. I can't just spend all the time. So inhale. Lift your chin. Open your mouth slightly. Don't force things. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Fill up the womb and really, really like expand your womb. This is not a place where you're going to work your abs. Allow all of that sacred spirit to expand within you and to start burning away any type of attachments you have tied to your sacred sexuality. And when you exhale, basically the sound is the sound that you make when you want to blow at a window or at a mirror. So you're doing like this. You know, when you want to create you know what I mean. So this is something that you should really do every day, morning and evening. Start connecting your breath and start activating your womb. You should start feeling sort of something expanding around you. That warmth that you felt when you started to call upon that goddess, which is, she's always there. She's always with you. The warmth is there. And the heart, I'm going to say something that, maybe it's too much information, but it's free. This is also where your ancestors reside, your heart. Your goddess is here. Your heart is where your ancestors live. The portal is here through the heart. So that's when you feel unloved. That's when you feel rejected by a relationship, by life itself. When you have fear, you feel lack of love, lack of connection to God. God meaning the whole divinity. That's when your heart starts to be broken. It is because you feel the disconnection from divinity, from the first layer of divinity, which are your ancestors. So as you started awakening, activating the goddess, the love, the cosmic love of our mother, of our cosmic mother, starts expanding beyond you. So you should start feeling a little bit around here, some warmth. If it's not warmth that you feel in your flesh, it is a sensation or a glimpse at something, the imagination. You just know that there's something there. And I don't want you to quantify or to qualify it, because stop being attached to the 3D. Even if nothing is happening with your eyes and your flesh, just trust that you are a divine being, and your body is flawed anyway. So maybe your body is not ready to sense things. Don't go faster than the music. Respect where you are and just love the moment for what it is. This is a privilege that you gave yourself, because we're going back to that worthiness that we're working on today. You are worthy of just taking a little bit of time for yourself. So many people are chasing. Okay? Chasing without even realizing. Chasing at manifestation. Chasing at life. Chasing at 3D proof that they're doing right. The moment you start relying on your 3D to know that everything is right, just know that you're back to that victim mentality. You cannot be both a goddess in the flesh and a victim. The two don't go together. So we're going to explore what's going on in terms of your beliefs, in terms of your feelings. Emotions are important. Our emotional body is very active. Our emotional body reacts to what the body itself is showing us. Sometimes you're going to feel discomfort. Sometimes you're going to hurt yourself a little. You walk and you knock your what is it called? The elbow. It's your emotional body telling your physical body, hey, we need to take care of something. And a lot of times, as feminines, we are taught, especially in the Western world, we are taught to not trust our emotions. So when you don't trust your emotions, you completely separate yourself from one of your bodies. We are physical bodies, mental body, emotional body, sattvic body, buddhic body, ethereal body. We have many bodies that compose us, that are inside of our auric field. So if you deny one aspect, which actually comprises who your feminine is, and you go to the mental, oh, I'm going to do affirmations, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you basically reject one aspect of yourself. So whenever my clients get their box, I don't know if you've heard of back flowers. So I'm a back flower practitioner as well. Back flowers are basically using the essence of specific flowers to allow you to ease into the process of change so that you're not stressed. So I will pick whatever flower. Actually, let me show you what they look like. So I have my back flowers little box. And basically, when I do a consultation with you to prepare you for the potion, to make sure that you're not stressed when using the potions, because these are things that the mental cannot control. I can tell you every day, surrender, surrender. Don't be attached. You can't help it. Those are mechanisms that you don't know how they came to you. You were just taught to be that way. The masculine in you is overactive. So you rely on your mental to provide you stability. And the flower essences, and I want to thank my beautiful goddesses here, whose spirit goddess is a fairy. I have a couple of fairies here. I could see when your names popped. So I want to thank fairies because it is thanks to them that we are able to have these things. So these are back flowers. They're different brands, but basically these are organic essences, and each of them deal with a specific fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of not being loved, fear of things not moving fast enough, things like that. So I make this cocktail, which for everything that I bring to you, I'm my first client. So I put it in the box, and basically you take this every day. And it eases you in the process. You're not in the expectation of manifestation. You remain in the expectancy and trusting that things are going to be amazing. Okay? So as you do that, we're going to start discussing feeling worthless. So right now, it's even really worse because we're in the age of social media. Fast information, a lot of toxic stuff happening, a lot of good stuff also happening on social media. I'm going to post a video of me or a photo somewhere in the south of France having a good life. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to be triggered by it. Some people are going to feel a need to compare or look at their life and realize, what have I done wrong? I'm a good person. I'm meditating, I'm nice to people, etc., etc. And and sometimes even comparing yourself. Your family may have expectations from you. We're like, you should be a doctor, you should be this, at that age, you should be married, you should have this. So we are constantly bombarded by things that basically remind us that we're not there yet. Instead of focusing on trusting the journey, I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to be the object of my offerings. That is why I call sacred seduction. Whatever love I need to receive, I'm going to give it to myself just by providing this time with what is the most sacred to me, my womb. So, unworthiness means that basically, when you look deep down, you feel like you have no value. You have no value in society, or sometimes you have no value in the spiritual realm. If you've been, trying at spirituality for the sake of reaching a goal, you're like, I've been doing everything. When is my time coming? So you start relying on your mental to look for signs that things are going amazing. Not trusting that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Every person's journey is different. So it doesn't matter what is going on in your life. You may even have curses. You may have generational, ancestral curses. You may be, but the biggest curse that I know are two of them. The first one, your goddess has turned her back on you because you relied on the outside to provide you for comfort instead of her. First thing. The second thing, the self-curse is you. Renewing your vows of scarcity every time you notice that you are not where you're supposed to be. It creates this sort of boomerang effect that keeps going and coming to you, going and coming and getting more and more momentum. And if you know a little bit about what Western spirituality, I would call it, or with philosophy when it comes to occultism or mysticism, you know that manifestation works like a pendulum, right? So I have a pendulum here. What happens? Usually you don't force the pendulum, right? But I'm going to force it now. So what's going on when you want to manifest? You start activating everything that is tied to your body. So you're going to activate the physical, you're going to activate the mental, you're going to activate the emotional. You want to go higher and higher so you're able to have more and more ammunitions, right? That's why we want the alignment, what we call yoga. You want to be one within your own set of bodies. So your manifestation starts like that as you start working. So it's here. It goes back and forth. It's not really moving. There's no movement. It's just, okay, we're starting. Just like when you're starting the engine of the car. You're saying to what you call the universe, so all of the forces of divinity to say, hey, I'm on a new journey. So maybe before you were like this, your life was going there. So if you look here, the way the pendulum worked for me is when you do counterclockwise is when things are going wrong, when it's a no. So you've had all the problems. Maybe you had diseases. Maybe you keep losing your job. Maybe you had miscarriages. Maybe it's about your body. You just don't like your body. Nothing is right. You don't eat right, but you keep going back to the same sort of vices of, I want to be healthy and harmonious in my body, and I just keep going back to the bad habits. So this is going backwards. And then you come across a video, an article, someone who starts talking to you about manifestation. So you start the awakening process. You're like, okay, I had trauma. I acknowledge that, this happened in my childhood. You start doing inner child, shadow work. You're still going backwards because you're still in the negative, right? But it starts to slow down because you're doing the work. So there's not so much momentum in the negative. However, nothing is really happening. You're not really seeing changes in your finances. You're still suffering from the situation. You feel guilty. You're like, maybe if I was more curvy, my man would not have left me. Or maybe if I was smarter, I would have had a better job. Maybe if all of the excuses, maybe if my mom didn't beat me up, I would have been like a healthier, stable, mentally stable person. You have all of the programming, all of these drawers, because that's what your body is. It's a library of memories. That's what programming is. So every time you see something, it triggers a memory. That's when you're like, oh, I've seen that danger before. Let me just go on defense, on survival mode, instead of expanding yourself to, this was me yesterday, it's not me anymore. So you start awakening. You're still in the shadow. The pendulum is still going on the no, on the negative, but kind of slower. But you keep practicing, and then you start understanding love. You start knowing about your ancestry, about your own divinity. Then it starts to slow down, and then it goes neutral. It's going to go neutral for however long. However long. Everyone is different. Every karma is different. If you're active, it's different. If you're in joy, pleasure, more and more and more, it's, the momentum start being faster. And then at some point, it starts going a little bit positive, clockwise. The pendulum starts going. You practice, you love yourself more, you love yourself more, you love yourself more. Then that pendulum of manifestation is going really, really fast. That's when it's creating that fire, that momentum of manifestation. You start seeing changes in your manifestation. The problem is when you're just on the mental or on the spell, alchemy type of situation, but there's no real awakening. You're not having that daily communion, that daily communication with your own goddess to start telling you, okay, go there today, say this today. You're not meeting her in the astral, but things are starting to change. Then it's amazing. You feel good. You feel good because you see that changes have happened. But then something happens. Life happens, right? Somebody else's agenda starts bumping onto you. Boom! You go back to, but why? It's part of that awakening. You're going to go a little bit back, but not as fast. A little bit back because there's this memory you hadn't dealt with. So you're going to go backwards a little bit and be like, oh my God, but I thought I already had everything figured out. No, there are different layers to the video game. Different layers of understanding, different layers of divinity. You need to go back to that momentum and creating again that movement of yes, of positive. It's going to be that way for many cycles of your life. And sometimes your mental is going to make you believe that I keep going forward, one step, and then 3 steps backwards. Or the thoughts start coming very subtly in your system, telling you, what is wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. I must be cursed. You start basically cursing yourself because you still rely on your human flesh to determine that you're going amazing, when in reality, you're just going along the regular path. So what you're going to do, every day, you start taking notes. I got a book because my clients, I always have notebooks. For each client, I have a notebook usually. So, what's going to happen? With my clients, I always start with acknowledging the negative feelings, the limited beliefs. Some of them, this is poor client of mine, but I asked her for permission. And I think that when we did the work, we expanded even more. Things that came up were, I'm too old. I'm too old. I can't manifest anymore. I can't have love anymore. I'm too old. By this age, I was supposed to be bigger, higher. I'm not beautiful enough, whereas other women, beautiful women, the way I see beautiful women, usually have an amazing life. And I told her it's not true. I have clients who are plastically, is that a word? Beautiful. And they have the same issues. It has nothing to do with the physical. But for this client, it was, I'm not attractive enough. I'm not fit enough. That is why I don't have love. That's why I don't, my man is not reciprocating love to me. I feel worthless. For her, it was everything. Basically, her feeling worthless, the worthlessness, that I have no value. Ultimately, the way I see myself, it seems that I have no value, that even the spiritual world has turned its back on me because I've been meditating, I've been doing all of that stuff and nothing is happening. But you have not connected to your womb. You're not in the pleasure principle. You're not in the highest, most easiest way to live. That is why Goddess spirituality is. It's the easiest way to live. By loving your experience, by enjoying the way things are now, by trusting, by knowing that if you're a feminine, everything masculine around you begs you to serve you. But if you compare yourself, if you have these thoughts, of course you're blocking it because you show up to the world as a toxic man, as a toxic masculine. So I've identified personally usually 4 blocks. And I'm not talking about curses because when I do the consultation, I will identify, I will see your ancestors, I will see immediately if there are curses. If you have curses in your family, if you have blocks in your family, if there's something that someone in your lineage did that you're still paying for at this point, and usually you see that when your siblings, or your mother, your father, when you see that there's a pattern. I've had clients where all girls in the family have never been married. That's easy. It's a curse. It's a family generational curse because life on earth abides by the cosmic laws. So as a woman, at some point in your journey, I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care if you're a feminist. It doesn't even matter. You're meant to have a sacred union and to have marriage, matrimonial marriage on this plane. So if you see that it's so weird, my cousins, my whatever, we don't have marriage in my lineage. That's a curse. It shows that there's a generational curse. Or all men in my family die before the age of whatever, or get a disease. Or women tend to have breast cancer in my family. These clearly are easy signs. I don't even need to read you or channel anyone to know that, yes, you have a curse. So what happens is that I will include elements in the box that you receive before using the potion, where you're going to do your own bath, your own whatever, etc., so that you prepare for the potion, using the potion. If you require a bigger spiritual work, cutting the links, a huge protective work that would be done by an elder and not by me, the potion, using the potion and doing these sessions to yourself, becoming a self-healer, help you manifest the guide, the elder, faster. It brings you to that GPS of direction, meaning that if you need money to do that initiation, money is going to come to you. If you need, they're going to help you in the path so that you don't feel lonely, you don't feel lost or confused, which a lot of people are. A lot of people feel confused in the spiritual path because you don't know. You're going left, you're seeing this video, this person is saying this, you're seeing this video, but never ever has anyone taught you to go within. Within is the Grand Master. Within is God and Goddess. It's not outside. So the 4 blocks, putting aside the fact that you may have family curses, hereditary blood lineage curses, I've identified 4 major blocks. The first block is childhood block. Any type of trauma. So you would say maybe something that, like, growing up, if I didn't do ABC, my mother yelled at me. So you have basically imprinted the memory of, if I don't do my best, if I don't work at being loved by my mother, basically she will not love you. So you have a childhood block of love as being transactional. So you're carrying on this memory, this trauma, this drawer of to be worthy, to have worth, to have value, I need to work. I need to show, to prove to the world, to people, to my men, I need to work in order to buy my worth. But then you get tired. It gets tiring because never in the first place did you need to work to receive love. You just needed to connect to your womb, to anoint yourself, to have that goddess, through all of the Kundalini awakening work, to burn, to calcify all of these ego spheres, demons that are basically there just as energy vampires to get your energy. Because when you're down energetically, what happens is that that energy is never lost. Something, someone, some entity is basically using it for their own purpose. It's like a gas station. They come to you and they pump your gas. They pump your ashe because you're not using it for your own expansion. Someone is going to use it. So, it's not anything mental. The acknowledgement of it is going to open your emotional body to start releasing that. But it's not anything that you can just, because I've acknowledged this, now, no. You need to go through all of the layers of your body in order to be one. So we've mentally acknowledged that no, you do not need to work in order to be worthy of receiving love. And the way we see love in the 3D is by being blessed by the 3D. It's very simple, plain simple. The money energy itself is a masculine energy. If you've ever done any work with me and you've connected with your money ancestor, you know that it's always a man. It's always one of your male ancestors who has the duty to be the messenger, to hold the key to your wealth. It is never a woman ancestor. Because everything that's going to be bestowed upon you, any blessing that you receive as a feminine has to be masculine. That is why in a relationship, it is translated like that. In a regular relationship, sacred relationship that respects the cosmic laws, the man who has the phallus is going to go out using his phallus, his organ tied to his own energetic center, who is located exactly where our womb is, to go get the stuff to bring them to you. Because you brew the magic, you give him the stamina, the strength. The magic is here in the altar. That's what he needs to penetrate you, to be able to get your juices, to get your love, to get all of that strength to go out to the world. So he's never depleted of energy. Because everything that comes to you has to be given to you by a masculine force. Only if you remain in your feminine, of course. The second block that I see, usually in when we move forward in our session, is no movement in the 3D. That's a big block for you, for most people. I'm using this, I'm doing affirmations, I'm I'm not seeing movement in the 3D. You start cursing yourself. Why not me? Everyone is listening to mantras and they're saying that mantras are so amazing to create that movement. And I've been using mantras for 6 months. You keep exploiting mantras, which are portals to a certain layer in the dimension, and you think that you're going to cheat energy. You're going to, because I'm singing it for a purpose, you're going 3 steps forwards without dealing with the 2 steps that you needed to deal with. That's the second block. The third block is age. And age is this big illusion because I have clients who are 22, 23 years old who are paying me the the package. They have no money or whatever. And they're like, let me just save up so that I can manifest the first session with Emily. And I know that money is always going to show up because I feel that this potion life as a woman igniting the sacred sensuality is going to help me through this journey. So they're like, let me just manifest the first session. And I'm like, wow, she's 22. And they're going to talk about the fact that, like, I don't have time. They're impatient. They want to manifest fast. They want that man fast. They want everything fast. And there are women also who are my age, in their 40s or even older, understandably, who are also, my God, I have not manifested ABC. So age is another illusion, but age and time is another block that I see a lot for my clients. Like, I'm too old for this. Time is up for this. This, like, all kinds of stuff. Like, my time is past. They don't know where to start because this block, this imaginary untrue truth is so big. It's bigger than them. They've allowed it to be bigger than them, and it's basically an excuse to not move forward. And I'm using that word excuse, keep it in mind, because I'm going to come back to it. The fourth block that I've identified is an event trigger. Usually, when the pendulum is going, okay, I'm working at it, I'm trying not to notice the 3D, I'm doing my potions, and I love the sessions, and because, you know, like, my sessions are amazing, and they're really about sensuality, so you start to really get into yourself, and you feel the connection, and you start hearing things more clearly. You start really, like, astral traveling in your sleep, or lucid dreaming, seeing things, and you're like, oh my God, it's happening. The 3D hasn't really happened yet, but you start feeling yourself expanding in your other bodies, because now you open portals, right? So all the layers are starting to open up to expand yourself to receive. But the 3D itself is still kind of dense. Time has not come yet. And then boom, there's an event that puts them backwards. Like, ugh, a bad thing happened, and they judge it as a bad thing. Sometimes something bad may happen to you that you judge as bad. It could be a blessing in disguise. It could be your guides, your ancestors, whatever, protecting you. Or it could just be somebody else's manifestation that you were just there, but in a domino effect. But it wasn't even your bad manifestation. It was just part of the path that you were. It happened, but it's not a reflection on you, on your journey at all. And it's even a test to see if you're ready for what you're asking for. So these are 4 blocks. The reason why I spoke about the fact that I keep that in mind, that state of victimhood. It is because as a women, that's why I talk about moaning. Women manifest through moaning. The magic is going to happen during sexuality with a man. The moaning is when you manifest. So by practicing moaning as a purification practice and as an elevation practice, without the climax of sexuality, because the climax is the explosion that you're only supposed to keep with a phallus, you having the womb, the yoni, and him, the phallus, coming together as one, doing the spell in sexuality, and the momentum creating by the spell allows you to have the 3D manifestation faster. Nothing divine will manifest faster than you having sex, sacred sex, that is, with a sacred partner. What is a sacred partner? I mean, I'm not going to have time to talk about it today. There are qualifications. If you're part of the membership, you know I've talked about this already before. It is under specific conditions. You cannot speak about yourself as, I'm sacred, I'm a goddess and all that, but you're still practicing unholy, unsacred practicing, right? So, when we do our daily ritual, we're going to moan, but it's not moaning like in an X-rated movie. The moaning has to come naturally. It has to take over you. That's why I teach you in the session as we're opening, and this is not for the regular potions, okay? This is for the big package that you get with me. I teach you how to allow the moaning to take over you. That's when you have that innate Kundalini awakening and you're using your breath and the moaning as a manifestation tool, right? So, when you're moaning, you're igniting that cold fire that the Kundalini energy is. And you also tap into our principle, the pleasure principle, loving the experience of divinity. That's why I teach you to spread your legs open, to do yoni contemplation as you're doing it. Not you to contemplate yourself, but for the yoni, your goddess, to start peeking out and contemplating herself. Having space within you. And as you keep moaning and moaning, it burns naturally. It keeps all of the demonic egos away. More and more, because you're igniting through joy, through what we are. And actually in my language and a lot of Bantu languages, the name we give to God actually means pleasure. God, what we call God, the creation, Mother, Father, God, the source. The synonymous name for it, the name we call them, is actually translates into pleasure. God is pleasure. Goddess is pleasure. That is why our goddess is in our altar. The altar is inside of our womb, inside of the trinity of clitoris, left ovary, right there. That's the seed of the goddess that you're awakening. In the Kundalini phenomena, she takes the shape of two serpents, the masculine and the feminine, going up and up and up as a spiral. Okay? So moaning is important in the practice. Moaning creates the creation itself. Moaning is God in action. God, goddess, in action. Moaning, sacred moaning, is, I'm going to repeat, is God, goddess, creating within you. It's the goddess herself who is taking over you because she knows what you need to burn. It's not a mental thing that needs to happen. And just like when you go to a temple, church, or whatever, you need to anoint yourself so that the goddess has room to be in your body, inside of that vortex. That are the plants that I'm using, the resins that I'm using. You know that resins are representative of the bloodline, the sacred bloodline. That's why trees are important to us. Some trees have specific symbolisms. People call us animists. We're not animists at all. We don't worship trees. We just see beyond what your eyes can see. These are flawed terms, completely flawed terms. But we're using those elements, all of the elements that your goddess is. And when you ordered that, the potion for me, whatever, I'm going to include your DNA because it's you, it's your goddess. If your goddess is air, water, whatever, those elements are there within you. The goddess is you, trapped inside. You know, this is a bottle. This is my new bottle. I haven't dressed it yet. But basically when I'm making a potion, I'm inside. My soul is inside the potion. I become the potion. And if you've ever used my potions, you will know that if you ever drop the potion, the bottle is not going to break. But that day, you're going to feel something breaking in your energy or at work, or you're going to have a bad day because you disrupted your soul that's inside the bottle. So, it's an hour. I was hoping that I would be able to do everything, but I can't. This is really the beginning of the session with me. Then I go into womb tapping. Then I do other tapping, regular, what you call EFT tapping, but in a different way, using really the emotional body and intuitive. Basically, your goddess is going to be like, tap left. And if it's only here that you need to tap, we're going to tap here for a while. Until that memory that is trapped there, you know, the link is cut. And it can evaporate and go in a place that is auspicious, you know, for it to be an energy vampire to somebody or something else. And then we come back to the womb tapping. And we're tapping and then we start again. You're going to start moaning, 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 moaning. The body starts releasing the trauma. And that's when we create your manifestation scene. What exactly do you see yourself? Because you felt worthless. What is a worthy version of you? What is the version of you who has value, looks like, feels like? How does she evolve in the world? How does she expand in the world? How can she be happy every day in the world? And also, what time does she have to do the ritual? So I start looking into, okay, let's look at your schedule. What's your schedule like? If you're a doctor or a nurse, you have upside down kind of planning schedule. So we need to make sure that your daily yoni potion ritual is not cumbersome to you, but it's something that you're actually looking forward to doing. So it's about customizing your session. And your goddess is helping me because she's going to tell me, I want that. Maybe some of your goddesses are going to be like, I want her to honey my yoni. Let her honey my yoni every Friday. This is the way she honors me. This is the way she blesses me. Maybe she's going to ask you to go to a river or a stream or a lake or a fountain and have moments with her. Maybe there's so many, because every single person is so different and your goddess is so different. She's also going to tell you how does she want you to dress. You're going to start going deep inside and seeing her with your inner eyes and have that portal of this is where I meet her. This is what she looks like, because you're supposed to dress as her. If you're a lawyer, if you're a police officer, woman, if whatever you are, she's going to tell you wear this element every day as a symbol of me so that I can show up with you. Okay? So there's someone who's asking to show up in the video, but it's a man. But no, this is a session for women. Do you have any question about what I just said? Any question at all? No question? Someone is trying to get on the live video. Oh, but it's a man. Should I take him? What do you think? Should I take him? A man is requesting to be on a video. When can we start with the back flowers? What do you mean, when can we start with the back flowers? I don't understand your question. The back flowers is something that I provide for my clients, but they're actually practitioners who only do back flowers. So I'm late in joining you. Oh, my ladies are saying no, no man. Maybe it's a man who wants to show us love. I don't know why. Everyone is saying no, so sorry, Mr. Man. Is there a one we can take to help start the process? Is there a one what? This has been so informative, MP. Thank you. I left my goddess. You're welcome. You're welcome. Jeff_G.1 really wants to get on this live. Thank you for this gift. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm going to end the video, the live here, because